bumping away, streaming for all to see. El Cachorro, El Cachorro. There's a dawn superheroes day today for you and me. El Cachorro, El Cachorro.
Hello, Cachorrites. A little late here, but it is time to talk X-Men 97, Episode 3, Fire Made Flesh. This episode was freaking amazing. This episode was super awesome. A lot of beautiful visuals. A couple of really sweet battles. Some very adult humor, very adult imagery. It is definitely for the people that grew up watching the show, not the new kids bringing it in. Because there's some woo stuff in here. But this episode is definitely one of the strongest ones of the season so far. Because this episode it went there. So pretty much this episode is the Inferno saga from the comics. With a twist. All wrapped up in one big episode. So totally like an 8.5 episode right here. So we're just going to go straight to the spoilers. If you haven't watched it yet, you really should. I don't know what you're waiting on. My hair's a mess. So, also got my notes. Gotta have my notes here. So we get the opening. Says no Storm has been removed from the opening since she lost her power, so they took her out of the opening. So I like how they keep twisting the opening, showing what characters are relevant to the team, and I think we're going to be missing someone else next up on the next one. Tease. We get some. I like how it has to take old scenes and just kind of redraw them in the new animation style. So we see a part with Lily Andrew and the Sheer. A lot of Jean Grey stuff. A lot of Phoenix stuff, really. Her Dark Phoenix powers manifesting. Her death scene. We have a scene of Rogue and Gambit doing like a little kiss on the basketball court where she puts her hand over his mouth and kisses him. The famous scene where you see Jubilee running and there's a chain link fence. They changed that up and did it with Sunspot. So you gotta watch the intros every time because they put little subtle changes in every time they do the intro. So we open up, and we have our other Jean laying on the couch, and I'm not sure why this. Well, I guess the image I found to put that there. That wasn't there in the episode, but so she starts probing her mind, and she sees memories, Jean's, memories, shared memories that they have. And all the shared memories, Jean's face is blanked out. This is also called back to the comics where they kind of did that with Madeline and stuff, getting as well. But just famous memories like the wedding and different battle scenes where just Jean's face is missing, and then to the point, so it's talking about she has memories, but they're all vague and non-specific, like they're fragments. And then they have a scene where she woke up in a laboratory. Not quite sure how she escaped. She just woke up in a laboratory and got free. I don't know if Sinister or bad guy to be determined that are out on purpose or not. But so she went her way and saw like a TV thing with the Magneto trial and X-Men, and that just jogged her to make her go looking for the X-Men. So pretty much saying, oh, she's got a fragment of memory. So she's got to be a clone, It's just, and then we get one of two special morph cameos from Morph. They want to call her Jean Doe. So he says, "Oh, in favor, raise hands." He turns into Spiral, and then raises all 6 hands to help his vote count. Dude, Spiral might show up in the next episode because the next episode definitely hints about being something with Mojo. The joke doesn't go over well, and it cuts to a scene of Beast talking, and you see him kind of like slowly sit back down, hiding. It's a nice little ant touch. So Beast does some checking with his gamma ray, using gamma ray technology, and he discovers that this gene is older than this gene. This is the original gene. This gene's cellular cells aren't as old. Think you'd be able to tell exactly how old they are? I mean, like, she's older than you. So saying that this gene's the clone, and so she starts freaking out. Like, how can you say this? I have the memories. She don't have the memories. I have the memories. We've been on all this stuff together, and everyone's just kind of like shocked. Like, well, wait, what? Even Scott don't know what to do here. We get the line where Storm would believe me. Which also leads to her another reason shows that she's not Jean. So we've seen Jean in the past say, "Hey, I could be evil. I have a dark side. I could lose control and stuff like that." So the other Jean would always, know there's always the fear of her turning. So this makes this one look even more guilty by the fact she's highly defended. No, I can't be a clone. It's impossible. So she storms off to the bedroom with the baby. And the team starts trying to figure out what's going on. So then we go... I won't show the next clip yet. So we see her... So Scott comes into the bedroom to try and talk to her. And he's like, so much has been going on. I was like, I don't know what to believe, man. I'm confused. And she's like, get out. Just get out. Kicks him out. So he talks about the baby. He's like, we should have left. We could still leave. We need... Talking about leaving again. All of a sudden, the scary voice comes over the baby monitor. Jean Grey. Are you Jean Grey? And so we're getting scenes for showing something talking there. And then we also see a scene where they're in like the med lab and Scott's with the other Jean and Beast is doing some studying and Bishop's tinkering with his little time device, which is almost ready to go. It's almost fixed, so he can go back to his own time. Why he's there, we don't know yet. And Scott asks something like, well, Bishop, you said you don't remember Magneto leading the X-Men. It's like, do you remember anything like this happening? And we get a nice little thing about time. It's always kind of rewriting itself. It writes itself, then goes back a couple pages and rewrites itself and goes. So it was saying how time always is kind of in flux and time can change and new things can happen. Kind of with the multiverse thing. So then the voice keeps talking to Jean. And it reveals itself to be her father, Mr. Sinister. So she says this little freak out moment. So her powers go nuts. And then he kind of exerts his mind control, how he can kind of control her. And we have this awesome transformation scene where she transforms herself into this black clad outfit and knee-high boots and a cape. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, even for a cartoon, she still was pretty damn hot. That was pretty hot. I mean, like, dang. They changed up the outfit from the comics a lot because obviously the comics, Madeline Pryor's outfit is really well known for underboob. Kind of just covers the top part, so that but you can see like the bottom of her boobs, and then she just usually has like a long loincloth over her crotch. Yeah, you can get as doll as you want, but you can't pull. You're not pulling out off on Disney Plus. But she turns into the. I mean, while she's doing that, and she goes, "They will feel my inferno," which is obviously hinting at the fame where this comic book is drawn from, the Inferno comics. I don't think I've mentioned it, but the name of the episode is Fire Me Flesh, which is a line from the cartoon from the Phoenix. So she turns, and then Beast has a eureka moment like, oh my god, I know who made this clone. His signature's all over it. It's something sinister. Scott, you need to go get Nathan now. So realizing they also realize that Sinister made the clone. But she's already fully turned into the Goblin Queen. And then we get a moment where they come out of the danger room. These two with Gambit. Gambit's bragging about, I guess, giving more of a hard time than the ring. So, well, how about a replay? Let's see who's got the Danger Room next. Oh, it's Rogue and Gambit. Oh, look, more. Rogue and Magneto. Oh, Rogue and Magneto some more. Rogue and Magneto some more. Boy, Rogue's really working up her stamina with the new boss. There's some heavy sexual innuendos on that comment. Getting Gambit all flustered and mad. He goes, I'm going to go look for Rogue. And then the weird starts happening. So Gambit walks into the office and comes across this scene of Rogue, which is kind of a scene, as I said, pretty much from the Savages land where they used to were in a romance together. But they're kind of melding into each other. Their flesh is they're conjoined. Some really, really, wow, strong imagery here. Other people start having nightmares too. Roberto, who we thought left, is still there with Jubilee watching a TV show, and then if we get a little ring action where something comes out of the TV, Jubilee charges up her popcorn bucket, throws it. And I'll give her there's some light gore here. She hits it, cracks it open its head. You can see its brains and stuff, but then it morphs into Roberto's mother to confront him about his being a mutant. We have Morph going to take a shower at the Danger Room, and the shower room turns on, and he goes, and it's Wolverine in there. So he kind of makes a joke, and then Wolverine turns into Sinister to give him his worst nightmare. And the only one who really doesn't get a nightmare scene is Beast, who opens an elevator door, and this Beast demon thing comes out of there, and he goes, "Oh my, I think you have the wrong floor." So, Beast being Beast, So they all finally meet together and try to figure out what's going on. And so then all of a sudden they drop into hell, which technically would be considered called. I guess they don't want to name it, but technically what Madeline Pryor, Goblin Queen, uses is limbo. So they're thinking it's Sinister, and Scott's like, "No, this is the clone doing this." So they're fighting all this. They're down in hell and they're fighting all these demons. We get a fastball special from Bishop and Wolverine. Throws Wolverine to save Beast. And then you get a scene where Cyclops releases a full-powered optic blast into Bishop, so he supercharges him, so he takes out all the demons. Then a giant demon sentinel comes out of the lava fire pit thing. And then the real Jean wakes up and comes down there and stops everything, makes everything disappear, and brings them back to normal. And then she does what Jean typically does, pass out. And then Goblin Queen, and then we have Madeline Pryor show up, or I guess we can't call her that because she's technically not named that yet. The Goblin Queen shows up and announces that's where she first does a little speech and gives her name and does this little pose thing. Like I said, she is very sexualized. She is drawn very sexual in this episode. They definitely do whatever they can to make her look super, make her hot as can be. Doing super close-ups of the lips and stuff. So they definitely went with more super adult themed on her. They went all into the fact that, yeah, she's out there. She got Nathan behind her in a little bubble. She goes, "Don't anybody try and follow me, or this is a taste of what you might get." So she starts to walk away, and Scott tries to go after her. And she does a little power smack backwards, knocking everybody down. And then we cut to a scene where everybody's kind of beat up in the infirmary, and Scott's all upset because he couldn't protect his kid. He didn't know there was Jean. And then that's when Rogue and Magneto show up, hey, what's going on here? Why is everybody all beat up and stuff? And that's when they find out Sinister. That's where they revealed to them that Sinister was behind everything. Sinister made the clone. And Magneto's like, I'm tired of this Mr. Sinister, because there's some links in the past between Sinister and Magneto have had some ties in this animated series in the past. He kidnapped Magneto in the Savage Land, and he's done some other stuff with as well. So he leaves Wolverine, Rogue, and Beast to take care of the wounded, while he's taking a surgical strike team of Morph, Cyclops, and Bishop to go get Nathan and take out Mr. Sinister. like, why wouldn't you bring Wolverine? I don't really get that. Kind of sounds like this would be a definitely good mission for Wolverine. They need Morph because Morph knows where Sinister's lair is. I've never told anybody, I guess, until now. So, like, okay, well, whatever. We also see where Jean's kind of having... She's kind of, like, forgot everything. She's, like, how to control her powers, so she's, like, suffering from hearing all the voices at once and stuff. She is, because she's suffering there. And we see Sinister, he's all happy. He's got Nathan, who's got the genes of Jean Grey and Cyclops. Puts him in his vat of liquid to make him invulnerable so he can use him to make even more creations and warp him into a perfect whatever he wants to make him. Our heroes didn't show up at the church. And they're talking about, well, we got to take, so Jean's under his control, we got to help him. And she see her, she's up at the top of the stairs doing some temple, and she quotes like a line from the Bible, like, don't judge me from the things I do. And then we get a very interesting scene that you can kind of see from the still here, where she does a little basic instinct thing here. She uncrosses her legs and then stands up. You don't really see anything, obviously, because it's a cartoon, but like I said, they really done what they can with her. So the first fight she does is with Morph. So Morph turns into Illyanamus Mutant, aka Magic, and goes after her magic, and then Goblin Queen's able to avoid her attacks, and then touches Morph's head and like turns him and takes control over him. And when that happens, he turns into Magic's demon form, the Dark Child, and starts attacking Bishop. So this is our other Morph cameo for the episode, which is very, very fitting that it's this character here, because this character does have ties to Goblin Queen. So Goblin Queen, so in the comics, obviously, it's a little bit different. We have Madeline Pryor as a perfect Jean Grey lookalike that shows up after Jean Grey dies in the Dark Phoenix. Something I never knew until recently was that was supposed to be the end of Cyclops' main run in the X-Men. Him and her, Cyclops was supposed to marry Madeline Pryor, have the baby, and settle down, live happily ever after, and only show up every once in a while for big events. So you kind of wanted to bring in that X-Men can retire, and that way so that they'd be able to bring in new characters all the time. And then Marvel's down the road decided they wanted to bring back the original X-Men into a team called X Factor. So they had to bring Jean Grey back to life, and they had to bring Cyclops abandon Madeline Pryor and Nathan and go be with Jean Grey and run the team. Yeah, it made him look like a dick. And they didn't really have much to do with Madeline. She joined the X-Men for a while, just as like a normal, she had no powers. So just like a human liaison, just kind of helping the team out with other stuff. And all while trying to figure out what, because at some point her baby was also just the Marauders were trying to kill her, and supposedly I believe the Marauders kidnapped the baby. And then she ended up being really revealed she was a clone made by Mr. Sinister, a clone of Jean Grey that was failed until the Phoenix died, and then the Phoenix gave her life, and so he implanted a lot of the memories of of Madeline Pryor into her and set her up to meet Cyclops. And then she ends up making a deal with some demons in Limbo, and that's how she gets the whole Goblin Queen stuff. Meanwhile, we have Magic here, who had to run in with the demon as well, who gained demon powers. That's how she went from a little kid to a teenager. She went to Limbo and got aged. And so she now has access to Limbo, and then turned Madeline Pryor. Ends up taking over Madeline Pryor. I don't know how it happens yet because I haven't read all the old comics, but she ends up becoming like the ruler of Limbo, and she played a big role in the Inferno comics as well. So nice little Easter egg there for people there, kind of including her in there. So at one point Cyclops gets taken down, and then it leads us to a Madeline Pryor versus Magneto fight. He's pulling the metal off the windows and trying to throw it at her, and she's using her powers to deflect it. And then she's like warping around the room, and he's shooting at her and breaking glass everywhere. And then she uses her powers to take over the glass and starts throwing all the glass shards at him. So he's using metal pieces to try and block him all. And then he starts getting all cut up and stuff till she subdues him. So Madeline Pryor, Goblin Queen, kicked Magneto's ass. So she's all proud of herself. All of a sudden, she gets hit by an atomic blast, and she spits out some blood. The Cyclops is like, "I'm sorry. I didn't want to do that." And she takes the blood and like runs it around her lips and makes it like lipstick on her lips. So like I said, this is some serious dark shit in this episode. She goes, "It's okay." Then she uses her powers to hold him in place, and she goes and jumps into his arms and kisses him, because you're gonna bleed too. So meanwhile, this is going on. Jean Grey, the real Jean Grey, starts kind of coming through a little bit, and her powers, and Wolverine's going over to her like, "You can handle it. Come on, just remember how to do it. You can do it. Focus on me. Focus on my mind. Go deeper." And he's like, she feels how much love and then Wolverine always trying to steal Scott's woman, man. Like, God damn him. Go get your own woman, Wolverine. He's kind of a shady character, man. He's obsessed with somebody else's girlfriend. Like, she's supposed to be married, for God's sakes. So she's, "Oh, how's a clone? So you're not married. So I'm going to make the moves on you. So remember me. Feel how deep I think about you." And it kind of really backfires in his face, because as soon as she regains everything, she automatically senses that Cyclops is in trouble. Scott's in trouble. Madeline Pryor's has got the upper hand on him. And she ties her hair to a ponytail. Like, "All right, I gotta go." And everybody's like, "No, you're not gonna go." I was like, "I'm not going there physically." So she sends a mental projection there, and we get a Jean Grey, Madeline Pryor astral plane fight. This is some really cool stuff in this one. The animation was great. They're kind of going at each other, and they're having flashbacks and memories, and pulling out memories, showing that her focus is always on the pain. Like, whose memories is who had this memory, who was this? We got the Dark Phoenix death, the wedding in between. So this is famous comic book covers, actually, right? These are, and then that's the original poster that was hanging in Xavier's office. So she's trying to get Madeline, trying to find out where Madeline ticks, and trying to get her, take her back to the beginning, and trying to find something to get her to get past, because all she has is the pain. Where Jean's able to is manifested, took care of her pain. Madeline is obsessed with the pain of her memories. So then we get a scene where she tumbles in, and Jean swallows her, and she's in a bot of fluid, which then a little portal thing opens, and a baby on a umbilical cord just floats in. I guess supposedly it's Nathan. They say, "Hey, you have a baby." And then that causes her to remember her giving birth, and that kind of is what turns her back to good. She's able to break Sinister's force, so she comes back to her senses, and she reaches out and reaches her hand out for Cyclops to grab. She goes, "Let's go get our baby. Let's go get our son." So that leads to them confronting Sinister, and remember, Sinister's weakness is optic blast from Cyclops. That's his weak spot. That's his only thing he's really weak to. So they kind of fight him off, and the Cyclops shoots the battle liquid that Nathan was in, so it drains out. So it's like, "You doomed him, you fools!" And he does like a little, and as he slinks into the darkness, he goes, "Ladybug, ladybug." He does his famous poem, and then disappears. And they're like, "Oh, all right, well, we got our kid, and what do you mean by all that?" And Nathan starts coming down with the techno-organic virus, which has appeared also in the show at one point, and Wolverine cured it. So he has a new advanced strain that Sinister created. I guess that was how he's making him invulnerable. And Beast says there's not enough time for him to figure out a cure for it. It's just too well, that it's already well advanced. We also get some cool animation. You can see as the baby's struggling to breathe that this mask will fog up and unfog as he's breathing. Like I said, the animation in this episode was top notch. So they would not, it would take him 10 to 15 years, something like that. So there's no time. And so that's when Madeline, one of the Jeans, now they're both down in normal clothing. She's not in the black outfit no more. So I'm guessing it was Madeline Pryor. or the clone Jean, since we don't technically call her Madeline Pryor yet. Says, what about Bishop? What about in your time? Was there a cure there? And he's like, hey, I know a guy that can make anything. And obviously we know Bishop works with Old Man Forge in the future. So they're saying that they want to attend, and then his time travel band is fixed, but he can only take one person with him. So talking about sending Nathan in the future with Bishop, but they have to leave. Cyclops and Jean can't go. Which leads to a scene where Scott's like, no, I will not abandon my son like my father abandoned me. I will not be my father. I can't do that. And to where he says, I don't want nothing to do with this plan. And he walks out like that. And I was, well, look, he just said over there and he abandoned his kid. No, you kind of missed the point of what he was saying. He just walked out in grief and frustration. He didn't just abandon the kid right there. He's just like, I don't want nothing to do with this. If you guys are going to do this, I'm not part of it. I don't agree with this plan. So he just stormed out of the room to, grieve. He didn't abandon his kid. He's off grieving that he has to give up his son. So he gets deeper shit, people. So we get this cool little scene where Madeline is implanting memories into Nathan. I don't even use my notes here, am I? I forgot about my notes. Mentioned the storm scene. We had the bedroom scene. Baby monitor. Transfer. Yeah, I think I've already covered everything now. Oh yeah, well, Scott's fear in the beginning was the manifested an evil Professor Xavier. Said demerits because you had a child with the wrong woman. You failed to lead the team. And Bishop saw his sister Shard. I forgot to mention that. And it was okay. So that was the only thing I missed. Okay. So she has the scene where she's implanting his memory, so he'll remember her and Cyclops, and have these memories of his parents to live with. And then hands the kid off to Bishop, who's got his portal open. And a cute thing that a lot of people might not notice, which I had saw somebody else point out, is as Bishop is taking the baby through the portal, the music plays a derivative of the Cable theme that we've had in the show in the past. When Cable would show up sometimes in the past, there was like a certain a little musical thing that would go with it's hard to really do here, but there was a special little musical theme thing that would accompany Cable. Some people might think about it. You mentioned it might make you remember it. So they're kind of playing a version of that as he's walking into the thing. Because, spoiler alert, that's Baby Cable. For if you didn't know that, imagine you knew that already. Most everybody knows that. Which is really interesting because Cable's from a lot further in the future than Bishop. So, I'm not sure how he's going to go from Bishop's time to 1,000 years from now. From there. Then Madeline's leaving, and Jean says, you don't have to leave, you can stay. And she goes, we don't know who was the Phoenix, who married Scott, we don't know where we got switched. A couple theories. There's a couple times Sinister has kidnapped them, so there's plenty of times where he could have switched them. I would think it had to happen more recently, though, maybe. So I would think Xavier might have noticed it, maybe, but maybe not. But this is where she says, my name is now Madeline Pryor. I want to be my own person. It's like we share the memories, and you know that I've been wanting to leave. I don't belong here. I don't feel like I belong here. And I'm going to leave and go do my own thing. And we get a bye Madeline, bye Jean. So a little heartfelt moment there between them two. In the comics, Madeline was killed in the Inferno thing. She's made some returns since then, but she died in the comic book story. Then we go to a scene where Scott's in the destroyed bedroom that Goblin Queen destroyed, holding a broken pitcher. And Jean walks in, and Scott just stands up, and they just turn and kind of stare at each other. You but, I mean, it's a kind of a messed up situation. It's like, hey, so I've been banging this other chick that I thought was you because she also thought she was you, and we had a kid, and now you're my actual real girlfriend, possible wife. I'm not sure. So there's definitely some issues that those two have to work out there. Because it's like, yeah, they've mentioned some really deep Cyclops storylines so far in these first 3 episodes. I mean, he was a badass whipping around, kicking some ass in episode 1. Then we had this whole little story arc. And 2 with him losing the leadership of the X-Men to this scene. So I would give them that. They're definitely doing some massive Cyclops angles in the show so far, which giving you some justice. It's all Wolverine all the time in the past. Then we go to a bar in Texas called To Kill a Mockingbird. So we see Storm hanging out in the bar, drinking some beer, watching a weather report where it's like 100 degrees for the next 3 days in a row. And somebody walks in and is like, yeah, good old Texas summer, all these hot days. Boy, it'd be nice if someone around here could make it rain. She's like, who are you? It's Forge. I'm an old friend of Charles Xavier Storm, and I would like to help you get your powers back. Obviously, I knew this where that storyline goes. In the storyline where she loses her powers in the comics, it was because, first of all, it was because of a weapon Storm made. Not Storm made. It was because of a weapon Forge made for Henry Gyrick that was supposed to be used on Rogue, but Storm took the hit for her instead of Rogue. And then her and Forge fell in love. She found out. Then she turned on Forge, and she found out it was him who made the weapon. He vowed, and then eventually they go on this really crazy escapade where he's been trying to find a way to bring her powers back. So there's all kinds of him going kind of cuckoo, and there's demons and all kinds of weird stuff because I don't think the writers really understood how Native American cultures work. So they just so we done this big Native American truck, because Forge is obviously Native American. And it's very hard to describe. That storyline was very hard to describe. Well, the Freedom Force, it was a hero mutant team led by Mystique. They was trying to stop the X-Men. It was also it was in the mix, and so it was a lot of crazy stuff in that one. But ironically, that is the name of the next episode. The next episode's name is Mutendo / Love Death. I think Love Death's right. Love Death was the storyline about Rogue Storm getting her power, her and Forge's love, and there's the escapade they went on about her getting her powers back. Obviously, Mutendo is going to be something with Mojo. So I guess we're going to get a back and forth story, her and Forge doing stuff, and then some of the characters getting probably nabbed by Mojo. But yeah, there's episode 3 in a nutshell. So all the some cool Morph cameos are also. I love how they're using Morph to give us these cameos of characters that don't make sense. Like, I don't see any way possible how magic exists in this game or this show. We've only seen her as a child, and there's not been anything matched up with her. So, like I said, I don't think it has anything to do with Morph actually meeting her. I think it's more just fun cameo, just to throw in for the fans. Just there. Got some excellent battle scenes. The Magneto and the whole battle with Goblin Queen alone was pretty good, and then the Magneto battle with her was also super awesome. Get some risque moments there with some of their imagery for the Goblin Queen. They definitely tried to push it as far as they could push it with her. But yeah, this episode was super strong. And they're doing. This show's a banger. Yeah, the first episode started off a little slow because they were trying to make so they kind of had to introduce people that did not know their show kind of into the characters. So yes, I know people made a big deal about I'm Rogue. If I touch someone, I gain their powers. I'm Jean Grey. I'm the strongest telepath on the planet. They had to kind of do that to introduce people that might not know the characters. It was a newer audience. But from there, the episodes got really good. Episode 2 was really strong, and this episode was really freaking good. So hopefully let's see where. Looking forward to the next one. Like, good old Mojo is always a fun one. See if we get any returners like Longshot or Spiral, or they bring in someone new. See where they're going and see how they do this storyline, because this could be the Love Death storyline with Forge, because that could get super interesting too. And until next time, Cachorro out.